One type of equation that we'll be solving fairly frequently is the quadratic equation. So, as you've learned in your math classes, quadratic equations have this general format where you have some number multiplied by a variable that's squared plus another number times a variable plus an additional number, and the sum of those is equal to 0. And as you've learned in those courses, there is the quadratic formula that you can use to solve for x. So the quadratic formula has the following form: x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, where a is the number that multiplies the x squared, b is the number that multiplies the x, and c is the number that gets tagged on at the end. Now, this formula will result in two answers as long as the number that's under the square root turns out to not be 0. If the number under the square root is negative, your answer will be imaginary, but we won't find those kinds of answers very often in physics class. Usually, if we're solving a quadratic equation, we're trying to find something like distance, and it doesn't make sense to get an imaginary number. So if you do find yourself getting an imaginary number in an unexpected context, you may want to check your math. So let's try the following problem. So we want to know which of the following in this list of choices is a solution to the quadratic equation that's given.